So Fnatic got kicked out of Worlds today in pretty embarrassing fashion. Obviously there's a lot of drama surrounding this team right now, and a lot of craziness happening with the roster and the players and who said this and who said that, and just a lot of crazy stuff happening. But I'm going to go ahead and focus on the drafts in their win actually that they got in Game 1 against Weibo, and see what Fnatic did well here, as this is probably their last game as a roster together. So they go ahead and first pick Skarner. I think this is really good. With Yone banned, I'd say Skarner's definitely a valid first pick on blue side. Champion is just really strong. Even though he's not going to be flexed, he's also a three-way flex pick theoretically between top jungle and support, or his best role rather, is currently jungle, so absolutely fine first pick there. Good start for them. Now we're looking for them to build along similar themes with scaling, team fight, pretty basic front to back themes. Weibo first rotate Renekton and Lucian. This is just really strange because you're blind picking both solo lanes on red side. If you draft properly on red side, you can straight up counter 4 out of the 5 roles, and Weibo did not do this at all. All they had to do here was counter pick jungle and then blind pick something. I would probably go with ADC because that's the least lane dependent role in the game, so you don't really have to worry about risking blind picking an ADC because the individual matchup doesn't really end up mattering. Anyways, first rotate from Weibo is really not good. They have a really high priority on early mid-game skirmishing here, and they go even further with this with a Nidalee lock on R3, saying that we're going all in on the early game, and if we don't win in the first 15 minutes, we're going to lose. And even if we do get ahead adequately, we lose one fight, we make one mistake, we're going to get outscaled, and we're going to start losing team fights immediately. Second rotate for Fnatic was okay. Again, blind picking support is not really necessary here. After Weibo blind picked both solo lanes, I would have just countered both solo lanes. You pretty much know Lucian's going to be going mid lane because, you know, no one plays Lucian bot these days unless it's paired with Nami. So you can literally just ban Nami in second rotation and know that Lucian's going mid. Either way, the Jackson to Renekton matchup is very solid. Jax beats him in a lane and outscales Renekton, so pretty winning there. Through first phase, I definitely give the edge to Fnatic. They have better scaling, better team fight dynamics, and just better themes overall. And obviously the scaling is going to be the really big factor here. Weibo's saying that we have to win in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the game, or we're going to start losing the game. Weibo R4 Misfortune, which is a great pick individually, but in the context of this comp, it just doesn't really make any sense. You've already committed to full early and mid-game skirmishing and, you know, dragon stacking. Misfortune just doesn't really fit the bill. I would have gone with a more early game focused bot laner. Doesn't even necessarily have to be an ADC. You can pick something like Swain, or you can do a Lux lane or a Karma lane or something like that. MF just doesn't really fit here. Anyways, Fnatic go ahead and last rotate, round out with Varus and Syndra. This is very nice. They're just continuing to build upon their solid front to back team fight themes with solid scaling. And Fnatic's doing the absolute correct thing here, saying that Weibo's completely committed to early game. We're just going to say, okay, you're bound to screw up at least once, so we're going to pretty much just auto win the game past 20 or 25 minutes with supreme scaling and range. And then Weibo go and round out with Leona. It's a solid combo in the lane and in team fights with Misfortune, but again, it just doesn't really match the rest of the comp. Weibo just unnecessarily forced early to mid-game picks here, and you could see it inside of the game. Even though they got tremendously ahead in the early game, and they were in a great spot to win the game, they lose that third dragon fight, and from that moment, they messed up one time, they lost one fight. From that exact moment, the game is completely lost. Fnatic is the better scaling team, and the better themed team in team fights is going to win the game, and are going to have a much easier time playing out the game because Renekton, Nidalee, and Lucian are all early to mid-game focused champions that are short-ranged and require you to dive in, and or are just kind of useless in the overall grand scheme of things. Compare that to a nice basic front-to-back team fight scaling comp from Fnatic, and you get the result that happened. Fnatic ended up winning this game pretty easily past the 20-minute mark. So even though Fnatic had a pretty rough exit to Worlds, this draft at least was very nice, so at least they can go out knowing that they had that in their back pocket. Thanks for watching, see you next time.